In its 8th public hearing, this one in prime time, the January 6th committee last night laid out its case that former President Donald Trump chose to do nothing to stop the attack of the Capitol for over 3 hours. Bakersfield's own Congressman Kevin McCarthy was a central figure in last night's discussion. 17's Maddie Gannon is here now with more.
Subpoena from the panel to speak about his communication with former President Donald Trump on January 6th. Despite not participating, McCarthy is still a key focus in the committee's case.
Republican leader Kevin McCarthy was scared.
In the January 6th committee's last scheduled public hearing, Bakersfield Congressman Kevin McCarthy taking a center role.
Leader McCarthy, who was one of the president's strongest supporters, was scared and begging for help.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
As the committee made the case, Trump did nothing for 187 minutes to stop the riot. Top Trump White House officials testifying. Multiple people told the then president to put out a message to stop the attack.
We've heard this evening how everyone in the president's orbit was pushing him to do more, to tell the mob to leave the Capitol. One of those people was Republican leader Kevin McCarthy.
The panel pointing to a phone call between McCarthy and Trump during the riot.
Would you personally reach out to the president for more support?
I've already talked to the president. I called him. I think we need to make a statement, make sure that we can calm individuals down.
White House officials confirming the call.
Mr. McCarthy placed a phone call to Mr. Scavino's desk line, and it was transferred to the president. Is that correct?
That's generally what I recall.
GOP colleagues saying that phone call led to a shouting match between the Bakersfield congressman and then president.
Let me be clear, this is
a GOP representative, Jamie Herrera Butler, recalling what she said McCarthy told her about the call.
And the president's response to Kevin, to me, was chilling. He said, well, Kevin, I guess they're just more upset about the election, theft than you are. And that's, you've seen widespread reports of Kevin McCarthy and the president having basically a swearing conversation. That's when the swearing to bed.
The panel saying McCarthy then turned to Trump's daughter and son-in-law for help.
Who else reached out to Ms. Trump that you know of that afternoon about the attack on the Capitol?
I believe at one point McCarthy did.
I heard my phone ringing, turned the shower off, saw it was Leader McCarthy, who I had a good relationship with. He told me he was getting really ugly over at the Capitol and said, please, anything you could do to help, I would appreciate it.
The committee also pointing out McCarthy's unambiguous words on the House floor, both later on January 6th and a week after the attack.
The violence, destruction, and chaos we saw earlier was unacceptable, undemocratic, and un-American. It was the saddest day I've ever had as serving as a member of this institution. The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters. He should have immediately denounced the mob when he saw what was unfolding.
Later, the panel recounting recordings released by the New York Times of McCarthy on phone calls with top GOP lawmakers in the week after January 6th.
I've had it with this guy. What he did is unacceptable.
McCarthy recalling Trump acknowledging his role in the attack.
I asked him personally today, does he hold responsibility for what happened? Does he feel bad about what happened? He told me he does have some responsibility for what happened.
The House Minority Leader even considering recommending Trump resign after a resolution calling for the Vice President and Cabinet to remove the President from office using the 25th Amendment was introduced in the House.
The only discussion I would have with him is that I think this will pass, and it would be my recommendation we should resign.
McCarthy has been under the heat for his decision not to pick any Republicans to sit on the panel after Speaker Nancy Pelosi rejected 2 of his choices. Trump recently called it a very foolish decision. And on Fox News 2 nights ago, McCarthy defended the decision, saying if he picked Republicans to sit on the panel, the public would have seen this as a fair process. In studio, Maddie Gannon, 17 News.